Hi guys, welcome to this episode of City Hacks London. Now before we dive into the episode, I want to give you some exclusive important news. We are loving the questions and all the comments that you're bringing on the channel, but what we want to do is answer them instantaneously. So the way to do that is to go over to Instagram, follow us on Instagram, City Hacks London, and if you post a comment or a question specifically, I will respond with a video message within 3 hours. That's a big promise. It might be 3.5. I'm going to try my best. So do that after this video. Head over to Instagram and follow us, City Hacks London. See you there. Okay, I am hoping that was not too confusing, but one thing that is very confusing is London. So this video is here to give you the top 5 confusing things about London to make your trip a little bit easier. London's tube system is something that can be a little bit confusing because you might have one line, like say the Northern Line, but actually it has 2 separate branches. So what you need to do is make sure you're on the right branch to get to your destination. And sometimes those 2 separate branches might have 2 separate platforms, so double check. Another thing that can be a little bit confusing is that sometimes you might have one platform at a station serving different lines. So take King's Cross Station for example. There you have a platform that serves the Circle Line, the Hammersmith and City Line and the Metropolitan Line. So what you need to do is you need to check the board, check the train and ask a Londoner to make sure you get on the right train for your destination. Tipping is another thing that can be a little bit confusing in London because sometimes they add a service charge and sometimes they don't. So the first thing to do is check the bill. If they've added a service charge, then just pay that and leave. If they haven't, it's normally polite to add around 10% to the bill. Now also, it's worth noting this is pretty much only for food. You don't really have to tip when buying drinks. A little bit of a heads up from me to you. If a London airport has the word London in it, it is probably not in the centre of London. The only airport that is in the centre of London is City Airport, all the others are on the outskirts. So say you're staying in East London, it probably isn't best to land in Heathrow because that's in West London. The other thing you can do is watch our episode, The Beginner's Guide to London Airports, which will give you more information about this very confusing London thing. London is notorious for shutting certain tube lines and stations at the weekends. We in London call this weekend closures. So if you're coming to London, what you need to do is go onto the TfL website and see if any weekend closures will affect your time in London. Also, it's worth noting that often what TfL will do is they'll lay on a rail replacement bus service to cover the tube line that isn't working over that weekend. So do check for that information as well. Okay, I've got some bad news. If you are already feeling like London is a little bit confusing, it is about to get a bit more confusing because the people who have named the places and things in London have often given them similar names or put them in completely the wrong location. So for example, Abbey Road Station on the DLR line is nowhere near the Abbey Road recording studio. That is actually in St John's Wood. The O2. There are various O2s in London. So if you want the one where the big concerts happen, that is the O2 in North Greenwich. Marylebone Station, for some reason, is not the closest station to Marylebone High Street. So check a map to make sure you go to the right station. And sometimes in London, roads can have very similar names. So the best thing to do is get the road name, but also get a postcode to make sure you go to the right location. Thanks for watching City Hacks London. If you like this video, please give it a share. You can subscribe here, and you can social media me in my most confused areas. That sounds rude.